Hello guys, and welcome to another tutorial. So on today's tutorial I will be showing you guys how I made this particular poster. So I'll basically just be doing a breakdown. So I've got a lot of good feedback, and I decided to do this video for you guys so you guys get to see what is really going on in this particular design. There's really nothing much, but I'll try as much as possible to explain to the best of my ability what exactly is going on in this particular design. So join me as I dive into Photoshop. Right, so the design is in 3 artboards. Right, so these are their layers, and I'll be breaking down the layers and how they work. Okay, so on the first artboard we have this text lab paper texture. I don't really think I used it again. All right, but let's just keep it up because it's practically there but not there at the same time. So you can see the blend mode is hard light, the opacity is 13, the fill is at 43%. That's why it's that light. All right, so the next thing I have, like I would always say in my breakdowns, all right, the arrangement of these layers is not the way I actually did the design. It's just basically the arrangement of the different elements put into that design. All right, so the next thing I have is the Grange wall texture. I downloaded it online, so I needed something. I was gunning for a retro kind of design. All right, that's from when I started the putting things together, but eventually I didn't really do so much retro, but I downloaded it and I just kept that element. So this is Grange wall I downloaded off freepix.com. all right, so if you want to download, go to freepix.com, just type in Grange background or white Grange background. That's what I typed. So the next thing you have is this particular rectangle that I made into this. I don't really think I used this particular thing though, so but I'll just unmute it. I'll just try to test ideas. So this is just like a couple of things that you get to witness when you design. All right, so everything must not be pre-planned. Right, so you can just go out of your way to keep on experimenting to get the best output. All right, so the fun fact about this design is I started design sometime last week, but I think I was really burnt out last week to complete the design, and ideas were not just really coming, so I left it up until this morning, Monday 23rd, as I'm recording this. I woke up, I was like, oh, let me just finish up this design and all of that. And it's been a while since I got these pictures from my guy Kezi, so I was like, okay, let me just touch it up and finish it up and just see how it goes. So the next thing I have on this layers panel is a silhouette of one of the pictures. Right, so this is silhouette of one of the pictures is converted to a smart object. So this is actually okay, I think I double converted it. Oh wow, that's crazy. So this is the picture. Yeah, this is the picture. So first off, I converted it into this was actually the first color I wanted to use, but along the way it didn't work out. I changed it to another color and finally just settled with this shade of brown. I liked it. I was like, okay, let's do this. So over this silhouette I added a pattern. If you notice, I've been using this pattern for quite a while if you actually follow my designs. So this is a pattern, a doodle pattern, so you can download it online. You can go online and just type in doodle patterns either on Freepik or anywhere you get free materials, doodle patterns and all of that. Then you have a variety of different patterns to choose from. So basically I go on Illustrator to edit some of the patterns, or I develop the patterns myself. All right, so that's practically it. So now the blend mode of this pattern is divide, and the opacity is 26%. Blend mode, divide, opacity 26%. So kept on adding a couple of other things. So this is a text. All right, one of those texts that I like putting on my designs. All right, so the next thing I have is this. Although I didn't really use this, after all, I didn't really use this. I was gunning for something else, but I didn't really use this again. So I'll just close it up. bring in some other thing I used. Okay, so this is a cutout of this particular picture, all right, that I eventually used. So why the cutout is like this is because there's something going to be over this, so I didn't really bother about this downside. All right, after cutting out this place, I just and did all of this. So how do you make this kind of cutout? It's really quite simple. It's really simple. So you come down to this new layer, this plus symbol down here, click on it. All right, so make sure it's below the layer you want to have the cutout, or the layer of the picture you want to cut out. So you go and pick your pen tool. All right, pen tool, click on it. Make sure you can, what you do first is make sure you have you turn off the color, the main color, that's the fill color. Then you give a stroke color of 1 pixel. That's fine. So you can choose any color at all because you still get to change it. So you could just come at outside the picture, just mark out where you want your cutout to be. So it mustn't really be perfect, right? That's why it's a cutout. It's just a design style that follows irregular straight lines. So not zigzag lines per se, but the lines are just irregular. The patterns of the lines are just irregular. So, and you have something like this. You bring it down. All right, bring it down. Take it here. Take it here. Take it here. So it mustn't necessarily be like this, but this is just my own iteration of. So come back here, over the layer still selected, then you turn off the stroke, then you come to the fill, then you can choose whatever color you want: white, black, pink, red, orange, whatever it is that complements your design, right? So white. So that's, that's basically how you make these cutouts. All right, so that's how I made that. So I'll just delete this and leave the one I actually used in the design. So you have this. All right, so the next thing is this particular what do I call this again? This is a ripped paper. This is part of a ripped paper. If I zoom in closely, you would see the edges to show you that this is part of a ripped paper. So let me see. Okay, I think this is a smart object, so I can see if I can show you guys what it looks like. So this is the ripped paper. All right, so I just enlarged it in that design. So this is what it looks like. All right, so practically that's it. Then get this back. Okay, the frame. All right, so that's that. The next thing you have, so I just made it big, all right, and to cover all of that. All right, the next thing I have is this particular element I just put here, basically just an element to fill up space, all right, and add depth to the design. So this is just grid lines, so you can go up. I downloaded it on PNG Wings. I went on PNG Wings and downloaded grid lines. So that's that. Next thing is Kezi, the name, which is more like the most conspicuous element in this particular design after this silhouette. So the name of the font is Britney Hallway. I think I downloaded this font off Envato. All right, so it might not be free, but you can go ahead to check alternatives to this particular font. So the name of the font is Britney Hallway. All right, so the next thing I added, or next thing here, is this also a ripped paper too. All right, this stuff here, so ripped paper. Then some text, and the alignment of this text is this what do you call it, justify all. That's why it's like this. It's different from the justify on this particular one. Right. Oh, I think it's the same thing. Right, same thing, right? So then after that, next thing you have above that is a tape, kind of taping this to this. So design is really quite abstract, not really following a particular set of rules, but following a particular set of rules. all right, follow the generally accepted rules of design, like hierarchy, alignment, balance, and the rest. So next thing you have is this set of rectangles, and this text, Desire of Nations. Name of this font is Achilco, or Achliko, sorry, ACHLIKO. That's the name of the font, Achliko. All right, so next thing, same rectangles with texts, same text. All right, so just playing around that. If you notice this one, Desire of Nations, Desire capital letters, of small letters, Nation capital letters. This one, the reverse, Senior, S small letters. So basically not following the direct conventional way, but unconventionally beautiful. All right, so the next thing I have is a shadow of this particular picture. So this picture and the shadow here. So most times I really create my shadows. They are not really as accurate as they should be, but let it just be on record that there's a shadow there, so that it's not like he's a dead person. Living people have shadows, so I put the shadows there. I think I'll still need to learn how to make shadows, and once I learn, I might just do a breakdown and show you guys how you can make more realistic shadows. So probably somebody will remind me about that on Instagram or Facebook or somewhere. So if at this point you're enjoying these tutorials, please do well to subscribe, share, like, and comment. It really helps us, or helps me, make better videos. And if you drop a comment on what kind of tutorial you want to see next, I'll definitely do well to look at it and make those videos. All right, so next thing you have is this is actually a font. It's an arrow. The name of the font is Against Madness. It has a ton of different doodle like shapes that I love using. So instead of downloading doodles like arrows and all of that, I just use the text. Against Madness, that's the name of the text. It's quite nice though. Right, I used it on a couple of projects and all of that I might do the breakdown on YouTube. All right, so next thing I have is this Nana Multimedia, my logo. If you guys think I should brand my logo, please let me know. All right, so next thing is just this elements I added here for just adding sake for fun. All right, I think I downloaded it also off Envato, but I don't know the exact name of the elements. So then next thing I have is the color grading itself over design. So I love color grading my designs, all right, so that it looks cohesive. So this is what is going on up on the color grade. So on the basically from left to right you have shadows to highlights. All right, so but on the shadows I have it more lighter. All right, and this is the color I have. So this is more like off-white. All right, off-white. Then on the highlights, all right, I have this very dark brown. All right, so doing it that way. All right, if I reverse it, this is what it gives me. So it's looking, but I loved to go with this and give me what I wanted. All right, so that's that about the first artboard. So we'll just move straight to the second artboard. All right, so I'll be explaining this. So the second artboard starts with the same textures, but I just wanted to add some colors to it, or just make it a solid color. All right, so I just made it solid color brown. Right, if you notice, this is the same texture, paper texture. So I think I'm doing so much more with this paper texture again. All right, so I just added a solid color to it because I didn't have the strength to go and start adding another solid color. So I just did that way. I felt it would be easier. I don't know, sometimes it's just on weird things. So the next thing you have is this pattern. All right, same pattern. So but now the blend mode is spin light and the opacity is 26%. all right, next thing I have is same silhouette of him. All right, same silhouette that you have here, same color. I didn't change the color. All right, next thing I have is his face. All right, and you notice his face is really quite distorted. So this picture is the silhouette. This is the silhouette of this particular picture. Right, so you notice his face is quite distorted. So how did I achieve that? I came to filter. All right, and under filter gallery you have what you call cutouts. All right, you have what you call cutouts. Let me reduce this. All right, so that is under artistic. You have cutouts. All right, so you have to just be playing around with these parameters here. Once you play around these parameters, you'll be able to get what exactly you need for that. So that's how I got this. All right, so the blend mode for this is luminosity. All right, and I just picked this blend mode from trying out different things. So I found out that this luminosity will give me this pattern on his face and still retain all other parts of or all other elements of his face. Very nice artistic stuff. Next thing I have is this text again from here. All right, I didn't really change the position, I just left it there. So it was good. So this particular group that I really don't like, let me just delete it now, that I didn't use. So same stuff here with the same stuff here, same paper, but this one I changed the color to green. All right, so change the color to green to match with this. All right, so man like Kezi, I just introduced this text, man like Kezi. All right, then same stuff I have here, but I just made it bigger. Desire of nation, same thing here. All right, the next thing I have, same rectangles, senior manchi, just left it there. Then his picture, this same thing. So now the arrows now, and now did to this particular one down here. Right, so giving direction, man like Kezi, desire of nations, pointing towards him. So you see how these arrows are used to give direction and give flow to the design. All right, so even as abstract as it is, you still have a form of direction as to what you want people to see, you know, and it's basically part of the conscious efforts your design should be doing, should be giving people directions on what to do, how to do, what to see, what not to see, how to see it. All right, so that's that. The next thing, I have my logo. Then I have this effect, very subtle dust kind of effect. So it's actually from a picture. All right, then this is what it looks like normally. All right, opacity at 100, this is what it looks like. All right, this is what the element itself looks like, but you know, I had to tweak it to what I want it to look like in the design. All right, so that's that. And for this, the blend mode is normal, opacity is 9%. So it's just the opacity I'm just reducing to get this very subtle rough paper effect with dust and scratch. All right, so I also have my color grade on this. On color grade, I'm using something different. So I'm using a shade of brown on the highlights and a shade of brown on the shadows and a shade of green on the highlights. Right, so what this means is that this brown will be affecting the very dark parts of the design, which is the shadows. Then this green will be affecting the very light parts of the design, which is the highlights. All right, so anytime you see stuffs like this, just know your left to right is your shadows to the highlights, so the dark sides to the light sides. All right, so okay, then the blend mode is soft lights and the opacity is 41%. All right, quite important to note. So last but not the least, the last artboard. All right, so we'll get back to the last artboard, and on this artboard, the first layer is the same texture, newspaper texture thingy, but now the color is white. All right, so I got this white after plenty trial and error. All right, so I think on this one I really had some fun. Then the next thing is, this is picture. All right, so basically I didn't want the picture to look the same way it looked here, so I added threshold to it to give it this kind of cut out kind of effect. All right, so how do you come about this? I came down to this adjustment layer circle that looks like a semicircle, a full circle with white and black. All right, so once you click on it, you go down, you see threshold. All right, threshold. So I applied that threshold over this to give me this particular thing. So I added some levels to it, to see if I could retain some of the, you know, black or white spots on the design, but it wasn't really that effective. All right, so I just I don't think I used it again. I'm not sure I used it again, so I think I'll just delete this right here. So basically you can see some of the things that, you know, designers go through. So you don't necessarily need to use every single thing in your arsenal most of the time. So it might not work, it might work, you just get to delete and look for what works. So the next thing is the same text. I still retained it, same position, no retreat, no surrender. Right, then the next thing is the shape of his picture, of this particular picture. So I brought it from this particular one. So all I just did was to make it smaller. Right, I made it smaller. Next thing you have man like Kezi, same stuff from here, from this particular thing, man like Kezi. Then and I have same rectangles, desire of nation, same thing here. All right, now the color is just different, so I'm just using orange and green. All right, then shadow picture. So I just made this picture black and white. All right, use camera raw to make it black and white. Then the same arrows I have here, right, same arrows here. So this one I just changed it to green. Then this one still retain the color of his clothes, right, which is creamy brown like. Then my logo, then this thing added here. Then the color grade, right, color grade, notice the color now changes. So on my shadows I have the orange working on the shadows and the green on the highlights, right, taken from these two colors. Right, so you have the blend mode to be soft light and the opacity to be 19%. Then overall on my designs, to make my colors pop, I just add my vibrance. So vibrance just gives it this very nice pop. All right, and my vibrance, the vibrance is at 61%, saturation at 0. So increase the vibrance, no saturation, and you have to increase it to a point where it's actually very believable. Sometimes you might just crank it up and it will look so tacky and cringe, so you just have to use your initiative, right, to do that. Okay, so that's pretty much all about this design breakdown, and I'm sure you got value from this. And please just do well to subscribe, like and share and comment for more videos you'd want to see, more designs you want to see broken down. All right, and see you guys in the next one. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.